I dragged the drowning boy to the shore. I heard Jack still had a faint heartbeat, so I used my mouth to undo his shirt and started doing chest compressions, but I wasn't strong enough. So I ran to the wooden bridge and took off running. Jumped from the highest point with all my strength. Luckily, Jack was saved. I knew his body was weak, so I went into the river and caught a fish for him. Jack was really grateful. Then he got down and tried to check my gender. He realized we were perfect to be brothers. So Jack adopted me, and I turned out to be pretty smart, because I learned to skateboard all by myself. Seeing that the neighbors were super jealous, whenever Jack wanted to do his homework, I would crouch down to be his portable desk. When Jack went fishing, I'd quietly sit next to him and listen to music. We had a really good bond, but sometimes I got a little naughty. I'd hide on purpose just to make Jack look for me. That made him really anxious, and his tone sounded upset. Then I'd realize my mistake. One day Jack's dad had to move for work, so the family packed up and got ready to leave, but I got drunk. The night before I went on a date with the little Teddy next door. I carefully prepared flowers and champagne, and invited her to the doghouse in the backyard. The next morning when I woke up, I realized my owners had already driven away. So I chased after them all the way out of town but couldn't catch up. Watching the car disappear into the distance, I stood there exhausted waiting for them to come back. But after waiting all afternoon, they never did, and I ended up causing a traffic jam. When the traffic cop arrived, he smelled the alcohol on me, so he drew a line on the ground to see if I could walk in a straight line. And to prove I was sober, I stood up and walked right up to him, but still got a ticket. After resting for a while, I followed the road again. Finally, I smelled a familiar scent on a pole. Turns out Jack was afraid I'd get lost, so he left his scent along the road on purpose. Following that smell, I kept chasing day and night, without food or water. I started hallucinating, and finally collapsed by the roadside. A passerby found me and took me home, but when I got to his house, I realized he was a dog dealer. He picked up stray dogs to make dog meat sausages, and served them to his customers. He locked me up in a cage. The other dogs were curious. They all pulled out little mirrors to see what the unlucky new guy looked like, but I didn't want to stay there waiting to die, so I started planning my escape.